don't really want to do this. It's beyond the whistle, and England have crashed out of the World Cup. Here to talk all about it, Grace Wild.
Hello. Well, we crashed out in a very dull way, I thought.
Mate, honestly, I do not want to do this podcast. I just don't want to talk about it. I'm so fed up. What a way to go out.
The way I can bear talking about it today is by talking about tactical issues, like not going into like the emotional side of it.
Oh, mate, okay. Well, look, we sorry that the vibes are so on the floor, but what could we? It's been a long tournament as well, and to go out the way we did, it is absolutely heartbreaking. But we are beyond the whistle. If you've not seen this before, make sure you like, subscribe, hit follow, bell icon, do whatever it is you need to do on whatever platform you are watching on. And remember that this podcast is brought to you by Jimmy Media, so go over and give them a follow as well. Grace, should we dive right into it? Because I know we are both extremely busy today, and just a little quick one. Just we need to speak about it, don't we? But yeah, let's just get this out of the way. Do you want to run through the lineups for me?
I can do as soon as my app loads to tell me the lineups. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Honestly,
Then it was Gay and Stones at centre back. Then he went for Jed Spence and Reece James, which was very interesting. Anderson and Rice in midfield. Bellingham down the centre. Rodgers on the right. Gordon on the left, and Kane up top.
Yeah, a couple of surprises.
Oh, my headphones just conked out. Anyway, um, yeah, couple of surprises. Rodgers on the right. Interesting one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not against it.
No, I think it was necessary.
Mm. Absolutely, we've been talking about the right side of the pitch quite a lot, really, with Saka and Madueke. Saka again, he must be carrying that injury more than we expected. But yeah, I'm not against it. And to be honest with you, I think it kind of worked up until a certain point.
I think it did work. I think it probably meant we didn't get everything we wanted out of Bellingham yesterday because I think Rodgers just naturally finds himself in different positions because on that right isn't where he necessarily wants to be. So I feel like Bellingham might have suffered based on the fact that Rodgers started, but I did like Rodgers' enthusiasm. And look, you and I have spoken about Madueke this tournament already, and he's not been poor. He's not been poor. I just don't think he's the standard to replace Saka, personally. I think, like you said, I think Saka's injury is probably worse than we first thought it was going to be. And he didn't even get on the pitch last night, which is worrying.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, again, do you know what? I just can't be bothered, man. I'm so all over the place. Let's break the game down like we usually do, and let's start off with the positives. Because England, up to a certain point, I mean, again, I don't think we was brilliant, but at 1-0, I thought we had a really good chance.
I thought the game was, first of all, I want to say the first half was very, very feisty. Exactly how I think that game should be. There was a lot of passion involved. There was a lot of scrappy. There wasn't much rhythm to the first half, so I don't think we were particularly surprised when we went in at half time 0-0. There was only two yellow cards in the first half, one for each team, which was arguably surprising.
Massively surprising. Yeah, I thought he'd left his cards at home at one point.
Yeah, I think that there's. I think first of all, I want to say being a referee is difficult, and in games like that, it's particularly difficult because if you bring out your yellow card too early, you're going to spend your whole game stop start yellow cards, and then you'll end up with somebody, if not multiple people, sent off. So I do sort of understand the hesitancy, but there is also going too far, and there were certainly challenges in that game that deserved a yellow card that weren't given.
Yeah, and again, I don't want to push a narrative because I don't want to get down this like conspiracy hole again. But when people have been talking about how Argentina have been ref differently, and it comes to this game, and you see another. I mean, I don't know because I think there was a couple of challenges that could have gone against England as well. So I'm not gonna say be completely biased and say it all went in Argentina's favour because it didn't. We did have some calls that went in our favour as well. But yeah, like you said, it is a tough job, but I think he had a fairly poor game all round.
I don't think he had the control of the game, and I think that's really important.
But it's not like I don't understand what was he expecting. I think everybody else had seen what this game was going to be like. Surely he must have known, okay, this could get out of hand.
Yeah, and I think sort of 15 minutes in, there was at least one challenge that draws the line that says this is the line for a yellow card in this game. Don't go past it. But the problem was is that I didn't feel like there was that boundary set, which is quite difficult to then get control of the game.
Yeah, but we see it quite often, don't we? Or we hear about it where referees like to give a yellow card early just to set the tone and just say, "Look, I honest about today," and maybe that game needed something like that.
Yeah, maybe just moving on to, if you're happy to, moving on to the Gordon goal.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, so Anthony Gordon, who I thought was very good again yesterday, it was actually it was in the second half. It was actually a really nice move from England. I really enjoyed this. It was a case of pouncing on an Argentinian. I wouldn't want to say mistake. I think it was potentially poor defending. Rice pounced on it. Rogers pounced on it, and Rogers put in a lovely ball into Gordon, and Gordon's finish was just divine.
Yeah. I, I mean, I can't really have much more to it. To be fair, Gordon was just he made the right move at the right time. It was a brilliant ball in from Rogers, and one that I think Saka maybe would make that sort of ball. We're not getting that from Madueke. I know I've slated him all tournament, so it's going to sound biased, but I don't think we are getting that from him. But yeah, it was good to see a ball getting driven into the box, and I think we've seen, as I mentioned the other day, that we've seen Kane not getting into the box as much like as I'd like to have seen. Gordon did that. He did what we needed to do, and I've been quite impressed with Gordon since probably the Congo game.
Yeah, I agree. I think he sort of upped it recently, which is, I feel like this tournament more than anything, and just talking generally now, I've seen that I've seen that progression of just getting better throughout the tournament more than any other tournament I've watched. I feel like Spain are a prime example of that. They've just slowly gotten better and they find themselves in the final. And that's how I feel Gordon has been. I feel like he's just needed to, get his 2 feet on the ground and get some minutes. And then he's just slowly developed into what Tuchel needed him to be on the left. And I it frustrates me because that was the type of goal that I think we could have scored multiple from last night because we had their fullbacks, we had them a few times, and I think on balance, if you were to look at the 90 minutes, I would say we had them more than we didn't, if you know what I mean. So I would have liked to have seen more from that angle, but that goal goes in and you start to believe, don't you?
Yeah, again, I don't think either team was brilliant yesterday at 0-0 anyway. But yeah, the goal goes in, and then Grace, what goes on here?
What are you talking about?
Once it goes in,
Oh,
what happens to England? We just completely the game plan just went out the window.
you tell I've been at work all day. Yes, I thought you meant immediately after the goal. I'm thinking I can't think of anything controversial
No,
happened.
no, sorry. I mean, like the next sort of like what goes on with England after this? Because I think if they'd carried on playing the way they had played up to 1-0, we'd be sat here talking about the final.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, I'm furious about this. I'm completely furious about it because I don't feel I feel sad that we're not in the final, but I feel sorry for the players because I do think tactically they were screwed over last night. We went 1-0 up. It's all looking positive. The momentum's with us. And then Argentina made some changes as you would expect them to. They've got a decent squad. You knew the players that were going to come on were going to cause us a problem. Then 72 minutes, Esri Konsa comes on for Anthony Gordon. Now that's a shocking one in terms of, okay, what's he doing here then? What did you think at that point?
Well, it told you everything that was gonna play out. Do you know what I mean? That substitution summed up everything. Like at one point, did you not have 6 defenders on?
Yeah, he did. He did. It was
See,
it was 72 minutes. Esri Konsa comes on. Then Argentina makes some more pretty good substitutions, including Rodrigo de Paul, which he came on and started really whipping it into the box and causing us some problems. And then we just went into the mode of we're 1-0 up, let's protect it. Like we had Southgate on the sidelines essentially.
Well, yeah, so that's it. So there's a couple of things there. Like, yes, I think we've lost this game thanks to the manager's tactics. 100% I do. I think the players have been. I don't want to take too much away from the players though. This is kind of like, do you remember Tottenham under Ange when there was so high line and all the critics were saying if you're 2-0 up or whatever, or you're a goal up and you're playing so high and Ange is telling you to play that way, the players should take it upon themselves to think, well, hang on a minute, let's just take a step back. Whereas the players, they could have taken a step forward. They didn't have to sit back that deep. They had the initiative. They're all world-class players. That's why they are where they are. They had the initiative to go and do that. And I don't think like you said, when he comes on and starts whipping these balls into the box, nobody closes him down. That's not a Tuchel thing. That's a player thing. The players, it's the first rule is to go out and close the man down. Why are you letting him put the ball into the box in the first place? Yeah, okay, deal with it in the air, but that is on the players. That's not on Tuchel. Don't get me wrong. I do think Tuchel's tactics lost us this game, but a little bit of criticism to put on the players as well.
Well, I think that's spot on really because I think from this point onwards, from sort of 72 minutes onwards, you know where Tuchel's head's going to be. But you're right, the decision making on the pitch, such as closing down the likes of DePaul, who we knew he was going to come on and do that. That's him all over. We knew that that was what was going to happen, and we knew they were going to be quality deliveries. They will also know that, and you're right. That is a player decision. I think fundamentally the goals that I don't know, the key point in this game um, was conceding the first goal. And I think
Yeah,
personally,
sorry. And again, though, that's kind of why a little bit of criticism on the players because they had so many warnings before that first goal went in.
but the one point I want to bring up is who did he take off in the 82nd minute? Do you remember?
Oh, off the top of my head, no.
Declan Rice.
Declan Rice.
Who would have been in that masses of space in front of Enzo Fernandez
Mm.
when he
Yeah,
shot?
no, yeah, you are right. Yeah.
I There's an argument, is he completely fit? Is he, completely well? I actually agreed with Roy Keane the other day when he turned around and said, you've either got 90 minutes in a World Cup semi-final in you or you don't. It's as simple as that. He didn't particularly look like he needed to be subbed off, personally. I thought, yeah, okay, maybe he's sort of um slowly pulling himself away from this game, but he was still doing the fundamentals right. He was still pulling, he was still the cog in the middle of the pitch. You take him off, we just frazzled. We just frazzled. And I didn't trust this anymore. As soon as he took Rice off, I thought, this is a mistake. This is a mistake. It was 82 minutes. He could have done another 15. He could have done extra time, I think, or at least the first half of extra time. We're not talking a whole other half of football. We're talking, if you hold on to that 1-0 lead or you go on and score a second one, you're talking 10 minutes. And I was so angry at that point because I was like, I know where this is going. I know where it's going. Oh, let's stick loads of defenders on and invite Messi to have run the show, didn't he? He ran the show when he was given the opportunity to.
Well, this is the problem because people were saying you have to give him credit because it worked against Mexico and that's what got us to this point. I'm like, yeah, but Mexico's a different beast. Like, it's not. They haven't got the attacking power that Argentina have. They haven't got literally one of the best football players on the pitch that we've ever seen running the show. So, and we was a man down against Mexico as well. So that, yeah, you kind of have to. Like, England shut up shop, but left all the windows open.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They shut the door and then left all the windows open. So it's like, well, what my frustration here, right, is we replaced Southgate, which I think was the right decision, to be fair, regardless of whoever we brought in. But we replaced Southgate and we brought in someone like Tuchel, so this didn't happen. So we didn't go 1-0 up in a semi-final because Southgate got us to them semi-finals, quarter-finals, even a final, and we got to 1-0 up, and this is exactly, it's just a carbon copy of what happened, and Tuchel was brought in, so this didn't happen.
Absolutely. And that's the disappointment of it all is I think I, I feel like I've been analysing the competition. I've been analysing our journey to this point from an England point of view today, because I didn't really want to dwell on the emotion of being knocked out of the World Cup, which is obviously devastating. It's awful. But there's part of me that thinks, okay, Mexico may be a different conversation because we were down to 10 men and you've got to do what you got to do when you're down to 10 men. That feels like a different circumstance. But a team who's going to go on and win the World Cup sh shouldn't necessarily be relying on shutting up shop and just holding on to what you've got.
Like, mate,
And
you
I think
you know my stance on football.
I don't like it. I hate it. I hate it. And I think if you're going to go on and win the World Cup, you're not doing that, are you? Spain are a prime example of doing the opposite of what we did last night. They went 1-0 up and they just trusted the balance in every area of their team because what was important in that situation was they got the second goal. Because at 1-0, anything can happen. Yes, anything can happen at 2-0, but it's a hell of a lot harder. Spain kept up that attacking outlet. They kept up possession. They kept up that trust within that midfield. They were knocking the ball about. They were giving France no motivation to go forward. They weren't making decisions and go, right, we're going to shut up shop and see what France do. And that's why they ended up in the final because they just played their game. They didn't invite the pressure from France and they kept that momentum low from a French perspective. So they didn't feel like they had the confidence. We brought Ezri Konsa on, and all of a sudden you could feel it. Argentina just went, we're going to go for this.
Yeah, and the problem is you bring on all your defensive players. The second you go 1-0 down, how do you then flip it to then get that goal back and go 2-1 up? You're not going to because you got too many defenders on. As soon as we went 1-0 down, I was like, well, that's it. We're done. It was.
Yeah.
You could tell it might have been lucky to get to extra time, but even then, I still think we would have capitulated in extra time because you've got too many defenders on the pitch.
Yeah, and the final whistle might as well have gone when they scored their second goal because we were not going to offer anything from that. I mean, we stuck Dan Burn up top.
Yeah.
That was the position we were in. It's like being Burnley in that situation. It's like, it's literally like being Burnley and being 1-0 up against Man United. They bring it back to 2-1. Burnley are not bringing that back. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those where the quality, it felt like the quality that was on the pitch. It was like, this is England, for goodness sake. We've got so much talent. I mean, Ivan Toney came on. What's Ollie Watkins there for then?
Well, yeah, and to be honest with you, I mean, you know, I'm a massive lover of Harry Kane. Love the bloke, but he shouldn't have been there towards the end of that game. Like you go, I mean, what do we go 1-0 up, 55 minutes? Hook him at 60. Give him an hour, and then send on Watkins and say, Watkins, you've got half an hour. Go kill yourself. Go out
Yeah.
there, just give it everything that you've got. Stand on the halfway line and just let him ping balls at you. You know what I mean? I mean, to be fair, it took him how long to get the first goal back? Like I said, we had countless of warning shots and we managed to hold them off just about. But we just had nothing else. Like I think at one point we did break forward with maybe it was it oh who broke forward? Might have been Bellingham to be honest with you, I can't remember. But somebody broke forward and there was just nobody there. Nobody had gone with him and he had nowhere to go. He ran into a dead end. Maybe he got the shot off. I can't remember now, to be honest. But yeah, I just yeah, you're right. Why is Watkins there? Why is Kobe Manu there? Why is Chalobah? Why was he there? You know what I mean? There's so many, and to be honest with you, this could all go back to the what we said before the tournament with what is this team selection? Like I know it's an easy thing to sort of poke at now that we've lost because while we was winning, we was not really complaining about it. But it just got mate, all this was just so wrong yesterday, so wrong.
But we faced quality, really, for the first time. Norway are good, but they were an underdog. Let's be honest. We should beat Norway. We finally went toe to toe with somebody that it was about who turned up on the day rather than, the quality that's on paper. And I'm so sorry to bring it back to this, but I think Lewis Hall would have been so much better in that game yesterday because at least he does the fundamentals of a left back's role right. I felt like we didn't have that. We didn't actually get the fundamentals right defensively at points. And you just think, this is why we were all screaming for it. And I'll be honest with you, obviously you get swept up in the magic of it, but I've been hesitant the whole time. I'll be honest. I've been
Well,
hesitant. I was shocked last night.
what you've said after on every podcast wasn't great, but we've done it. You know what I mean? We've said that from pretty much every game, even Croatia. What what I don't understand, right, is me and you could sit here now And we do, after every game, we've broke it down, okay? Every pundit has said it. Everybody I've known has said it. Why can't Tuchel see it? Do you know what I mean? Why can't the manager see it? Why can't he think, well, hang on a minute, why am I sitting so deep? Apparently, he said after the first goal, he said to his players, go and get a second. I don't believe that for 1 minute. There's no way I believe that because the players don't just shut up like that and think, right, let's stick 11 men behind the ball. Surely not.
But also say that, but your substitutions also need to
Well,
provide
there's
that.
that, and Tuchel's not the man to stay quiet on the touchline. If the players were doing what he was doing, he'd have been up there, he'd have been screaming at them, and he'd have gone, right, you're not doing what I'm doing, off. And you lot, go get warmed up, you're coming on. Do you know what I mean? Tuchel's not that type of player, so I don't believe that statement that he made after the match. But yeah, everybody could see it. It's even in the knockout stages, we haven't not conceded in any of the games. So the chances of us conceding this one were fairly high. How is he not seeing that? So don't stick behind the ball. Enzo Fernandez, how many um how many times have we seen him score goals like that for Chelsea?
So many.
So many times because we know that he can do that. Like you said, with the balls into the box, he's known for putting balls into the box. So we all know that, and we're sat here just regular people with normal jobs. You're the manager of England. You're supposed to be the best candidate for the job. How are you not seeing that?
And you've also known the pathway to the final for a long time. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those where, okay, you've not known specifically who we're going to play, but you've had a good idea. And I think that has been Argentina this whole time. It's been not convincing, but they've really put everything into that final 20, 15 minutes. And I just don't understand why we caved into it, why we rolled over. We did exactly what Argentina wanted us to do. We didn't, we didn't not, we didn't do anything to combat that. We didn't do anything to say, we're not going to let you have all that possession and cause us a problem in the last 15 minutes because we're going to keep ball players on, because we're going to keep passing it around, making you run about behind the ball and not get a touch. Do you know what I mean? That's the type, that's the level that I feel Spain showed against France. You know, that's how I feel. It's almost like Spain showed us the blueprint of what to do, and we just scuppered it.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, we've seen Argentina come back from behind before. So again, he knew that that was a possibility. He knew that this could happen. I just don't understand, mate. You don't let one of the best. Well, they are the best team in the world because they won the last World Cup. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you don't let the best team in the world have a have that much domination for half an hour of a football game. There was no way we was ever going to outstand. Mate, after the goal, we had 12% possession. 12% since scoring. That is an absolute joke for any team, let alone an England team.
It's not good enough. Fundamentally, it's not good enough. And like I said, we get swept up in the magic of it and still being in it. But actually, when you reflect on this World Cup, I think the squad selection was shabby. I think the tactics. I think the Mexico game was the best we offered personally, and that was circumstantial. Do you know what I
And
mean?
to be fair, we only just held on by a thread. I think another 5 or 10 minutes, we probably would have conceded. You don't get me wrong, unbelievable performance from England, but we was towing the line.
Yeah, 100%.
Um, Look, it is what it is. We're knocked out. It's unbelievably frustrating, but and I know for a fact that you could sit here and talk for another hour on just rant about it. But let's talk about some positives. How good was Jed Spence?
Awesome, awesome. We were talking about this in the podcast earlier in the week, weren't we, about him potentially moving on and him giving himself the best opportunity because he needs to be a starting 11 player. He needs to be. And my God, was he brilliant. And it's just, there was a point last night where he switched sides, and I said to who I was watching it with, I literally just said, the fact that he can do that so seamlessly within a game is such a positive, and somebody is going to benefit from that a lot. Um, and yeah, I thought he was brilliant.
That
I mean, some of
tackle
his
as well. The tackle as well. Oh, unbelievable.
can't teach that. That timing was just awesome.
I did see someone being if there had to be a massive critic, the only reason why he had to make that tackle is because he was out of position in the first place. But look, he recovered, so it doesn't matter.
And also the way in which our fullbacks have been playing in this, the identity of our fullbacks in this tournament has been pretty much out of position. We've
Yeah.
not played bog standard fullbacks. You're not talking Gary Neville. Do you know what I mean? It's been a sort of hybrid role anyway.
A couple of questions for you. Do you think we've seen Harry Kane's last World Cup?
Yeah, I hope not. I think it's dependent. Obviously, it's dependent on injuries. I think it might be his last World Cup as a starting 11 player.
Okay.
I think there's potential he comes along to the next World Cup as like somebody. Oh, I don't know. Could he start? He probably could. He's one of those players that's just got the class, isn't he? That I think he's. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I'd love to say no. I'd love to say he's got one more in him.
It'll be
But it's
30
hard to predict.
at the next World Cup. It'll be 36. I still think he's got it in him. I think he could get another World Cup.
I think he's definitely got the Euros in him, 100%. I'd back him for that. And let's just see where he is, I guess, if he's still performing. And look, footballers are different now. They're completely different. They are machines. They look after themselves properly. And so he has every right, if he looks after himself properly, to be there because he is quality. He is. And I there's nothing I want more than to see him lift a trophy.
But what I'm more worried about is the the. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's 4 years' time. Somebody could emerge through as the next wonder kid or whatever. But our options after Harry Kane just don't look good enough.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think someone will appear in many ways in English football. We're lucky because it's the truth is that there's kids every single day playing football for the first time and being incredible at it. Um, and I think we're lucky because it's like you can't really grow up in England without playing football. So I think there will be another type. There's quality coming from here, there, and everywhere, and yeah, I think we'll be all right. We'll be all right because someone will shine through. Whether it'll be quite the quality of Harry Kane, I don't know, but someone will shine through.
And Tuchel, stick or twist.
I think I would like to twist, but my problem is I can't be hypocritical. I've always said you can't sack a manager until you know that there's somebody better. And I think if there isn't anybody better, then probably not. I mean, I've heard Eddie Howe's in the mix for it if we do twist, and I don't think I want that. Um,
I think there's only one guy that would all be the country would be united behind taking on, right?
Pep,
Pep Guardiola.
yeah. I mean, if he even showed an essence of interest, explore it, do it. That is a no-brainer and 100% twist. I think they'll stick personally. I think they'll give him the Euros, which will be frustrating if it goes the same way because that's a home Euros.
I'm I'm not sure they do though. That's the thing. I think that they do maybe call it a day. I think that they'll say thank you. You give it a good go. But especially I do think Pep takes it.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I do. I think he's got to have some sort of love for England. He spent that long here, and he knows the players inside out. And yeah, don't get me wrong. If Spain came calling, he'd jump at the chance. But I don't know. I just think he is one of the best managers of all time. Could he win England a trophy on home soil? He would be untouchable.
It's a tempting challenge for sure
You
because,
know who
like
I
you
would
said,
say to put in the job, don't
Big Ange.
you? Yeah, I would give that man anything to manage England.
Let's
Um,
just make it very clear. I don't want Big Ange. Thank you very much.
yeah, neither does anybody else, mate. But I mean, I tell you what, he's not shutting up shop at 1-0.
That's true. You spit in facts.
He's probably getting his knocked out in the groups, but he's not. He's not shutting up shop at 1-0. That's a fact. Man of the match, Chris.
I think I'm going to go for Jed Spence.
Gotta be. It's gotta be. Argentina or Spain.
Spain. I'm going to go Spain.
And as much as nobody in the entire country cares about it, England or France, fair play.
Actually intrigued in this game. I think France will probably beat us, but I'm intrigued because it is a different test. France are a very, very capable team that I
I
thought would be in the final.
after yeah, I agree. I do think I had them down to win from day one, but I think after the media scrutiny that Tuchel's going to get and how loud the media's going to be, I don't think the players will care. Don't think they'll turn up, mate. To be honest with you, it's like I said yesterday. Rather than that result, I'd rather just get pumped 4-0 in the first half.
Yeah,
It's so
yeah.
hard. It was flashbacks to Kieran Trippier's free kick. Do you know what I mean? You go 1-0 up and it's a heartbreaking way to lose. I'd rather have just been like, oh, for half an hour we're 4-0 down. That was shit. Move on.
I mean, this England tournament has just reflected West Ham season, I think,
Yeah.
because shit to begin with. Then you see some hope. You think we're going to do this. There's potential here. It's looking good. And then it just all comes crashing down on you. And I'll be honest with you, West Ham pulled me apart. So I am trying my best to not let England pull me apart. So that's why I'm trying to think of it from a tactical point of view. And I'm also proud of the players because I do think they put everything into that
Yeah.
yesterday. Yeah, decision making potentially wasn't the greatest, but I'm not gonna sit here and diss the players because I thought they all really put a shift in.
No, you're spot on. I think if I want to see anything from Tuchel, just do you know what on against France, just try something different. Try something. Throw on every single player that hasn't had a single minute. Give them all a cap and just try whatever you want to try, mate. Don't. No one's gonna care. So do whatever you want.
No, it'll be a watch, you know, a very casual watch, I imagine.
Yeah. You I mean, I don't know what your schedule's like. You should probably live stream, mate. I've done one for a while.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, it's dependent. Oh, I don't honestly, mate. I'm just exhausted. I will get back.
Hey,
I don't know what it is. I feel like my Premier League ones are better than my World Cup ones, and the timings in the World Cup have just been so, you know, all over the place. It's just been difficult to do.
no, you are right, but I don't want to hear a single word about you being tired since you've now got 7 weeks off. So I don't want to hear any word about it. Thank you.
If you have lived my week, you would need 7 years off. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. But you enjoy your summer holidays, Grace. We'll do a. Should we do a post World Cup podcast at some point?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, man. I'm sorry. It's such a like down vibed podcast. But honestly, I just did not want to do this. But I was like, This is the bad side of content creating. You know what I mean? It's like you've got to do it.
Absolutely.
But yeah. Anyway, guys, we'll call it a day there because I think we both just had about enough of ranting about England. I don't want to speak about this tournament ever again. Apart from when we do our World Cup roundup. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit follow, do whatever it is you need to do. And Grace, I will see you in a couple of days.
See you in a bit.
Bye bye.